Opposition episode 3. As you can see in this position, Black King will manage to capture both white pawns, and if white loses both pawns, then Black King will find himself in control of the key squares, which will be a disaster for white. It's painful to lose an endgame when you have one extra pawn and high hopes. So it will be easy approach for black, king g4, then the pawns are falling apart. But white has a very interesting tactical solution. He will sacrifice both of his pawns to lure the white pawn ahead. If you remember in one of the previous videos, we specified that it's beneficial for the side with the with the pawn remaining in the endgame, the vantage side with one pawn, to have the pawn as backwards as possible, because that will pull back the key squares as well. As your pawn progress, the key squares are pushed as well. So white will try to get the black pawn on f5, which will, if you remember, if it's this horizontal, or in the black case, if it's the horizontal 5, key squares will be found on horizontal 3. If it was the other side, if it was horizontal 4, key squares on horizontal 6. So it'll be easier for white to gain control of the key squares on horizontal 3 than if the black pawn is behind, and then those key squares will be closer to the black king. So white to move, the only way to draw is to push the pawn. Obviously black takes with the king. That will only help white, because he will manage to come and defend his own pawn. So black has to take with the pawn. Then again another sacrifice. Black pushes the pawn. White pushes, sorry. Black takes. And now we find ourselves in the opposition. White will give up opposition, but only temporary. As you can see, it's 3 squares distant opposition. Black managed to keep opposition just for one more move, because once white will move his king on f1, there is no way for black king to still have opposition, because his own pawn has been very intelligently lured from f7 to g6 and then f5, is blocking or preventing the black king from keeping control of opposition. If we try to approach the key squares, let's say we go in front, while white will take opposition, and is the same endgame we'll be facing a couple of times in the previous videos, when the side advantage has to move and he won't be able to win opposition, because white will keep winning opposition. How about if black will decide to push the king on g4 instead of f4? It's very simple. White again wins opposition, and doesn't matter what black will decide to do, he won't manage anything but maybe pushing the pawn until we get a stalemate. This was episode 3. See you on episode 4.